Hello, my name is Jennifer Norton. My master's curriculum research project is entitled Learning to Play, Playing to Learn, Sociodramatic Play, and School Readiness. I'm going to unpack that a little bit for you. First of all, this project is a 9-week curriculum that I wrote up. And it is for teachers who are pre-kindergarten teachers, so of students who are 4 or 5 years old. This was chosen as a topic. I chose it because I believe and have learned that the most developmentally appropriate practice for young students, especially those targeted in this lesson, is play. Play is also evidence-based, and it has been supported time and again that play is the best way that students learn, not only because it can address multiple areas, but also because students are engaged learners. They really don't even know they're learning half the time. They're having fun. They enjoy it. And that's something I would like to foster in my own classroom, an enjoyment of learning. Because when you enjoy something, you're going to keep wanting to do it. And also, it builds students at this age to have a positive attitude towards school. So, I chose sociodramatic play specifically because I know that this area, especially in my experience working at a preschool, is probably the most popular area beside maybe blocks. But I know that many students love sociodramatic play, which includes things like, just basically playing pretend, dressing up, the kitchen area in a classroom, things of that nature. So that's why I chose sociodramatic play. And then I chose school readiness because I figured that was something that academically, perhaps, teachers and parents even may be looking at as far as the curriculum in a pre-K classroom. So basically, how is the curriculum in this classroom getting my child or my student ready for the rigors of real school? Well, quote unquote, real school. So I looked into the topic of school readiness, and to what I thought of was really an interesting and wonderful idea is that the National Association for the Education of Young Children not only says that school readiness is not just about academic skills, it says that school readiness is about the whole child, and it's also about the school being ready for the student, about parents being ready, about teachers being ready, administrators being ready for a student. And I just thought that was a wonderful idea and something that I will bring to my teaching. So, school readiness specifically, they said, does involve academic skills. You can think of school readiness as having some emergent literacy and mathematics skills, very basic things, but also oral language, vocabulary, physical skills such as gross motor and fine motor, and things of that nature. So I thought that was really interesting. It also involves turn taking, communication with diverse peers, all of those sorts of things. So again, I chose to do a 9-week curriculum, and each week has a theme for my curriculum. So, for example, the first week is family, and the second week addresses, it addresses the 5 senses. So those are just 2 examples. What the teacher would do at the beginning of each week is introduce, basically through the lesson, the teacher would introduce the dramatic play area. And the teacher would show how it's set up that week and how the students are going to use it, show the labels, the different parts of it, the things that students can do with it. And the topic for the week will be introduced through either a literary method or perhaps a video. It all depends on the week. So an example of one of the things that I did was I developed the five senses unit. And in that five senses unit, this is an example of one of the themes, the lessons that I did. For that five senses unit, the students would have a pizzeria set up in the classroom. There would be jars with different scents in them, like of cheese and things. They would be able to make their own pizza using Play-Doh. They would be taking orders for the pizza, so they would have a clipboard with a piece of paper, and they could color in or circle the pizzas that they wanted to make or that somebody asked them to make. There would be music in the background. So this is addressing all the different senses that the students have, the five senses, beside taste. But taste would be done probably at a different point during the week, where there could be an activity where a teacher actually makes pizza or brings pizza, and the students can explore taste that way. But the center would be set up so the students can explore their senses and do that in a playful manner. They would be doing something familiar to them, playing in what was the kitchen area but now is a restaurant type of thing. And they would be exploring and learning. They would be counting, they would be using emergent writing skills, there'd be turn taking, they'd be sorting things like the places for the utensils, the different toppings for the pizza, the different ingredients for the pizza. They would have to sort them. So those would address math skills. There would be the oral language aspect of it. There would be conversations. All of those areas would be addressed, and all those areas align very well with the Next Generation New York State standards. And this is just one example of something that was done for my project. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So there are 8 other themes that I explored. There's transportation and there's growing plants, and all these are addressed by having the different centers set up, the dramatic play center set up differently each week. Actually, during the transportation week, the students would be actually playing outside, and the outside would be set up differently. They'd be introduced through a book about different road signs and road rules, like don't walk and walk signs, and then they would be able to apply their knowledge on the playground. Another aspect of this curriculum that I composed is that at the beginning of every lesson, students would plan what they're doing. So in whatever way that fits teachers, I've seen it done where the kids pretend that they're on a phone and they say, oh, this is what, and they pretend call, and they say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do when I'm at the Dramatic Play Center or whatever center they're at. And then they would do whatever it is they were planning to do, or maybe it changed. And then after their time in that center, they would review. So this is called Plan to Review. It's actually part of the high school curriculum, but I think it's really important for students to really be able to review what they did and really think about it. It's also a way for the teacher to assess what students are doing. Assessment also will be going on throughout the dramatic play, in that teacher will observe and take part in the play, and that's ways of the teacher knowing if the students are meeting the goals, or to tweak it a little bit and ask them open-ended questions and things of that nature. So that's my curriculum research project in a nutshell. I hope to go into it more in depth during my presentation, and I am looking forward to taking questions at that time. Thanks.